You ever peek an angle and instantly get one-tapped? Like they knew exactly where you were coming from. No utility, no warning, they're already pre-aimed at your face. You think, how? There's no way they knew I was there. But there is. Top players don't just react faster, they predict faster. They know where you'll be before you even get there, because they're constantly reading the map, the timing, and you. And once you learn how to do that, you stop getting caught off guard and start being the one setting the traps instead. In this video, I'll go over the 6 techniques I've learned on my road to Immortal, and I'll show you in-game examples of how they work and what they do for a round. And honestly, you may already be doing some of these things without realizing it. The number one reason that higher elo players seem like they have wall hacks is something called situational awareness. Situational awareness is when a player uses cues around the map like sound, teammate positioning, and utility to predict what's about to happen next, and usually in a really short period of time to react to. Take this round for example. Chamber peeks, then he instantly teleports away. As soon as he does, Clove and her team push through together reacting to that teleport. They know that they need to take that space because it's been given up by the chamber now. They eventually get access to the site, and once the Clove plants, they immediately go to check back pillar or hell. There's nowhere else for the chamber to realistically be based on how quickly they took the site and what their teammates were looking at the time of the plant. That's not guessing, that's reading the situation in real time and reading it quickly. Another reason that high elo players seem to know what you're about to do is something called audio conditioning. This is when players deliberately use sound to manipulate your expectations. Things like making noise to mislead you, bait you, or set up future plays. You've probably already done a version of this, like faking a rotate by running away and then going silent and doubling back. The difference is that high elo players do it to create micro advantages. In this clip, Clove keeps spraying from the common spot on ramps by the wall, and then she strafes left after every burst in hopes that the Yoru is going to peek this corner looking directly at that spot so that she can have an advantage. When he peeks, he's pre-aiming the wrong spot, and Clove's already repositioned to take advantage. That micro advantage wins Clove this fight because the Yoru now has to reposition their crosshair before they can even shoot, while Clove only has to tap. These micro plays are what convert rounds for you over time as you rank up. Have you ever thought, how did they know that I'd go there? That's called predictive positioning, and it's anticipating your movement based on game sense and context. In this round, Clove's trying to plant A, but they know that Yoru is on site and the chamber is in heaven. As Clove and Sage scale, Clove understands that Sage is exposing more of back elbow without seeing Yoru, meaning that the only place for him left to be is front elbow. Now after Clove and Chamber have a little whiff session, Clove goes to plant but knows that if they stick it, they could be stuck back sight because Chamber can come out of heaven and hold that space. So instead they fake it and predict that Chamber is going to come back out of heaven and hold back sight from there. I'm sure that we've all had this next one happen to us. You're holding an angle, and the second that you stop holding it, somebody peeks you. That comes down to cadence awareness, knowing the rhythm and timing of the round and what's possible based off the positions of the enemy. High elo players develop a sense for how long rotations, defaults, and pushes actually take. It's almost like an internal clock. Here in this round, Clove is holding mid on split. Just before Yoru peeks, she flicks down to mark it because she knows that that's the exact timing it would take for a defender to wrap from B site. That kind of timing and awareness can completely change a round and how you hold angles or predict rotations. It's not always perfect, but over time you start to learn these timings the more that you play. And this comes with experience and time in game, not in an aim lab. So the more that you play, the better you'll get with it. This next one is something that even higher elo players can tend to forget, and it's that your win conditions can constantly change throughout a round. The best players are always reevaluating what gives them the highest chance to win. In this round, Clove starts playing towards A with her team, but notices that Phoenix is in spawn and a Vice ults towards that side. Clove knows now that their win condition has changed for the team. They instantly pivot, realizing their best chance is taking space in B heaven with Jet and getting the spike down on B. They trade out the Jet and B heaven, they plant, and remember that Phoenix was last seen in spawn, so they go to take that fight first. Again, the win condition has changed from trade out and plant to make this a 1v2 as quickly as possible. So when they do go spawn, knowing that Phoenix was last seen there, they take that fight and luckily end up winning it. When they end up with that pick, they've moved on to another win condition, which is isolating these last 2 fights. They cut off heaven and the choke point with the smoke, which allows Clove to force 2 separate 1v1s instead of a 1v2. This Clove is predicting what her opponents are going to do based on what has happened in the round already and making educated predictions based on what their win conditions are, then reacting extremely quickly. Almost like a task list from one task to the next. Finally, there's spatial awareness. This is understanding the map through the lens of your teammates' position and control, not your own. In this round, Clove initially goes to rotate based off the information they saw on the minimap, but they see that no one's really made any contact in certain areas that their teammates are actually holding on the map. So instead of over-rotating, they reconsider, double back down to A, and they catch the enemy on the rotate. It's that small awareness of the team's space versus their space and the opportunity that the enemy has based off that space that separates separates reactive players from predictive ones. Clove's not reacting to what her teammates are seeing, she's reacting and predicting based off what they're not seeing. So all of this really can start to feel like wall hacks, right? But when you're in game and you struggle to realize that it can be anything other than sketchy, remember that it's just prediction. The ability to predict opponents doesn't come from wall hacks or luck, it comes from experience. And the more rounds that you play, the more that your brain starts to recognize things like timing, spacing, and rhythm automatically. So be patient with yourself. This stuff takes time. Let me know in the comments if there's something you've noticed in your own games that's helped you read plays better. And as always, drop a like and subscribe if this helped. Catch you in the next one.